こんにちは。手こずらせないでよ。ごめんなさい。間違えました。
Hey everyone, Sumo Spiffy here. Welcome to the first Guess the Banzuke for the new year, Hatsu 2023. If you're new here, it's pretty simple. As you can see, we have the rankings and the records from Kyushu 2022. We're going to go through the calculations to get everybody set up in order, and then we'll place everybody in what we think are going to be their final positions and talk about why we think they're going to go where they go. This one's going to be interesting. Let's get started. First, we do the calculations. Everybody moves in accordance with their record, 8 and 7 up 1, 9 and 6 up 3, 6 and 9 down 3, all like that. And when we do that, we get... Alright, here are our initial calculations. The guys in white are ones whose records don't matter. Terunofuji is staying at Yokozuna, Takakeisho is staying at Ozeki, Wakatakakage and Hoshoryu are staying in their spots at Sekiwake, and Shodai, as a demoted Ozeki, is going to go to the bottom Sekiwake slot. Now, there was some brief discussion I saw that Terunofuji could get moved to Yokozuna West and Takakeisho to Ozeki East. Something about because Terunofuji isn't going to fight in the next Basho, but Takakeisho is. I don't really get that. I'm mentioning it because I saw it talked about, but because I don't really understand it, I'm just going to leave it with the obvious setup. Terunofuji East, Takakeisho West, and we go on from there. Let's get to the most critical question. How many Sanyaku are there going to be? If you watched my Hate the Banzuke video, you will have seen that I set it up as there would be 7 because going by all precedents, there should be 7, but it's gonna be impossible to make a Banzuke that way. So the next logical number is 8. It'll still be difficult, but that's what I think they're gonna do. What might surprise some people, especially if you've been watching my videos for a little while, is the fact that I put Takayasu at Sekiwake. I am pretty stringent about keeping guys further down when they get promoted to Sanyaku because that's what the committee does. They just won't move guys from Maegashira to Sekiwake if they have to open up a new slot to do it. The Daisho precedent comes into play once again. He went 13-2 and won a Yusho at Maegashira 1 West, and he was only promoted to Komusubi 2. So why is Takayasu going to get moved to Sekiwake? Initially, I thought it was going to be Komusubi. I was working off of that assumption all the way through. But the more I realized that moving him to Sekiwake actually creates the fewest problems for the committee. Here's how that works. Takayasu to Sekiwake, it does break the recent precedent of not creating an extra Sekiwake slot for anyone in Maegashira, but he can be seen as an exception because they want to give him a clean shot at an Ozeki run. I don't think they're actually giving him a real Ozeki run for the next Basho though. They might allow it to look that way, but I don't think that's their goal. Unless he did something like go 13 wins with a Yusho, I think he's staying at Sekiwake even if he has another really good tournament, 10, 11, 12 wins. I'm pretty certain they don't want his Maegashira 4 11 wins to count for anything. So unless he does something really super crazy in the next Basho at Sekiwake, I don't think they're going to give him Ozeki even though they'll put him there. So if they're not going to give him a shot at Ozeki realistically, why do it? It's because of the next guy, Kota no Waka. Moving Takayasu to Sekiwake allows Kota no Waka to take a base Komusubi slot on 9 and 6. My initial thought was that they were going to give him Komusubi 2 just as a message that they're moving him up because the circumstances are totally screwed. But when you think about it a little bit more, is that realistic? They don't answer questions about why they make the decisions that they make. They just let people think whatever they want. Are people really going to look at this and think, oh, they must have given Kota no Waka Komusubi 2 because they're trying to send a message that this was only... No, they're not going to do any of that. People aren't going to think that way. They're going to see 9 wins, new Komusubi slot. Well, why did they do that for him, but they never seem to do it for anyone else? If they can open it up so that he gets a base Komusubi slot, a K1 slot, that question goes away. That makes things a lot easier on the committee, so that really incentivizes them to make the smaller exception, or what seems like the smaller exception in this case, of moving Takayasu to Sekiwake. So with this setup, we've got Teru at Yokozuna East, Takakeisho Ozeki West, Wakatakakage Hoshoryu, that's all normal. Takayasu goes to Sekiwake 2 East, because Shodai, as the demoted Ozeki, has to go to the bottom of the Sekiwake list, so he goes to 2 West. Kiribayama actually gets a little bit of a promotion on 8 and 7, and Kotonowaka goes to K1 West. There's our Sanyaku. To be completely honest, even if I'm right about there being 8 Sanyaku, I feel maybe 65-35 that this is the right setup. I think it is actually very plausible that they do keep Takayasu at Komusubi, and I'm totally wrong about their thoughts on Kotonowaka at Komusubi 2. It could happen, but I think this makes the most sense for the way they tend to act. Okay, I'm gonna move everybody into Maegashira 1 through 6, and you're gonna see something that's probably gonna be like, huh, really? I will explain everything, just bear with me. Okay, let's start at the top. Tobizaru and Daisho went 7 and 8 at the 2 bottom Komusubi slots. Presumably they're gonna be kept together. There's really no reason not to do it, but if they were to put them at Maegashira 1, then Meisei with 9 wins gets no promotion. Meisei goes to Maegashira 1 East, Tobizaru and Daisho get bumped back another half a slot. They're set, everything's good. In my opinion, it makes more sense for them to put Wakamoto Haru at 2 West and Mitakeumi at 3 East than the reverse. But every time I set it up like that and considered the committee's tendencies, it just looked wrong. So I have Mitakeumi at 2 West and Wakamoto Haru at 3 East. For competitive purposes, obviously I want that to be right. I want all of my choices to be right. But for purposes of just fairness, I kind of hope I'm wrong. I hope Wakamoto Haru is put ahead of Mitakeumi. He should be. I really think he should be. I just don't think they're going to do it. So with Wakamoto Haru there, Mitakeumi there, Midori Fuji can't go anywhere. He's stuck at 3 West with his 8 wins. I actually thought about putting Waka at 2 West for purposes of the Guess the Banzuke competition, just because there's also an outside chance that they move Mitakeumi all the way down to 3 West so that Midori Fuji can get a promotion to 3 East. But that seems like a really low odds possibility. And again, every time I put Wakamoto Haru at 2 West, it just felt wrong. It just felt like it wasn't going to happen. So Midori Fuji stuck at 3 West. Tamawashi, even with his losing record, straight up calculates ahead of Sadano Umi, so there's really no reason to put Sadano Umi ahead of him. Tamawashi at 4 East is already getting more of a demotion than anyone with 6 wins at Komusubi has gotten in the last 20 plus years. So he's going to go to 4 East. Sadano Umi is stuck at 4 West, just like Midori Fuji. This may become a theme. And now we get to the ones that look really weird. Nishiki Fuji, 9 wins at 5 West. He can't go anywhere but 5 East. There just isn't a spot. So 9 wins, he gets a half a rank. It's not impossible that Nishikigi gets moved up to 5 West and Ryuden to 6 East so that, hey, we have our 8 and 7 guy get a promotion. But given the way this is all working out, and the fact that you would be giving the 8 and 7 guy the same promotion as the 9 and 6 guys around him, that seems less likely. To be clear, we are in unexplored territory, so really all I'm doing is going off what makes sense mathematically. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's a learning experience. And yeah, I have Abi at 6 West. A lot of people are going to have 9 or 10 Sanyaku because without that, someone's getting fucked over just like this, either Abi or Tamawashi. But the way I see it, there's not a chance in hell they're dropping Tamawashi all the way to 6 West from Komusubi with 6 wins. So their options are, you go with 9 Sanyaku, I don't think they're going to do 10, or Abi gets done like this. I think it's more likely they let people look at this one and say, wow, poor Abi, he really got screwed over by how jammed up it is, than to bring either Meisei or Wakamoto Haru up to an extra Komusubi slot and break all the precedents they've been setting for the last several years. The fact he'll have another easier schedule coming off a Yusho might also be considered as a consolation prize, but I think they'll be happy enough with just, hey, there wasn't anywhere for him to go, sorry. If there are 9 Sanyaku, I think Abi ends up at 3 East with Wakamoto Haru and Meisei move to Komusubi 2 and Maegashira 1 East. In what order, I don't know. I think it's more likely Wakamoto Haru goes to Komusubi, but either way. I'll have a 9 Sanyaku Banzuke at the end if you want to see what I think it would look like that way. Here it clears up a bit. Myogiryu could be kept at 7 West so Hokuto Fuji doesn't suffer a 2.5 rank drop with his 7 wins, but I'm working on the assumption that they're going to promote 8-win Rikishi with at least a half rank whenever it's feasible. It just hasn't been feasible up to this point. Now, do they think it's feasible when Hokuto Fuji is going to get such a big demotion? Yeah, I think it is. Given what's happening on the rest of the Banzuke, Hokuto Fuji could go down 2.5 ranks, and that's not absurd. So this is my guess. Could it be the reverse? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to think about it too much, because if they're both Maegashira 7, then for purposes of the Guess the Banzuke competition, I'm going to score points for him, so I'm just going to move on from this. Onisho and Oho at 8 East and 8 West are the cleanest placements on the whole list. They go there precisely, there's no one to fight for the spot, it's fine. Ichino-jo and Ura actually benefit from a slight gap here, getting under-demoted by a half rank. Now with Ura, he's tied with Takanosho and Endo, but since ties between losing wrestlers tend to result in the ones coming down the furthest being favored, so the ones in the last Basho who were the highest ranked with the worst records will get Ura at 9 West, Endo at 10 East, and then Takanosho at 10 West. Then Aoyama slots in cleanly at 11 East. After Aoyama, we have another mess. Tochi, Hirado, and Chio are all tied, but Hirado had a winning record. Since he came up quite a bit, he has room to get pushed back down. Tochi and Chio both had losing records, so once again, Tochi started at the higher rank, so we'll put him ahead of Chio. Tochi goes to 11 West, Chio goes to 12 East. Now mathematically, Hirado should then go to 12 West, but if Okino Umi is going to get any kind of promotion with his 8 wins, he has to go to 12 West. It's completely reasonable. Hirado going to 13 East from 16 West on his 10 wins, for this Banzuke, that's fine. So I think Okino Umi gets his half rank, he goes to 12 West, Hirado's 13 East. I do think they'll keep him ahead of Kageyaki, since Kageyaki is still getting a rank and a half on his 9 wins, which again, for this Banzuke, that's fine. Unfortunately, Koto Shoho and Koto Echo get shoved straight down the hole, losing 2.5 ranks each despite having 7 wins. If they're given any less of a demotion, then either Kageyaki is only going up a half rank with his 9, or Hirado's only going up 2 ranks on 10 wins. That latter idea is plausible, but again, I don't think they're going to stick it to the kid just to marginally reduce the demotion suffered by the Kotos. 7 and 8, 2.5 ranks, it sucks, but in this Banzuke, what can you do? Ichi Yamamoto, Azumaryu, 7 and 8, they each drop a rank to Maegashira 15, that's clean, we're fine. And now we're in the promotion zone. I'm gonna handle Takara Fuji and the Jirios in the simplest way I can. As I've said in other videos, Makuuchi wrestlers are given approximately 2 ranks of favor over Jirio ones, so Tsurugisho should be ahead of Takara Fuji since he is 3 ranks ahead by calculation. That puts them both at Maegashira 16, I have Tsurugisho East. If they're flipped and Takara Fuji is ahead of all of the promotees, I wouldn't be shocked. But what should happen is Tsurugisho is ahead. Maegashira 17 is the interesting one. We've got 3 guys for 2 slots. I think Chiyomaru is the odd one out. I know that might seem strange to a lot of people, but Aqua is ahead of him. Aqua had 10 wins at 5 East, and Chiyomaru had 8 wins at 1 West. Aqua is a half rank ahead. He gets priority. That's just how they do it. As for Chiyomaru versus Mitoryu, I looked up a lot of situations near the Juryo borderline where 2 guys are promotable and one is 2 ranks behind with 1 more win. In those cases, the guy with the lower rank and the extra win is favored about 3/4 of the time. To be clear, in the great majority of these situations, both are promoted, and in some of the others, neither are, so it's possible the question of which one to favor as the promotee could change the conversation. It's not impossible that given Chiyomaru's history in Makuuchi and Mitoryu's, let's say, poor performance in his 1 trip to the top division, they would favor Chiyomaru whether he was the one at Juryo 1 with 8 wins or Juryo 3 with 9. But what can I say? Playing off the researchable tendencies of the committee has done well for me so far, so I'm going with Mitoryu. I'm not even saying he's the most deserving, I'm just saying it's about 75-25 that he's the one they pick. And that's Guess the Banzuke for Hatsu 2023. Like I said, we'll have a version of the Banzuke with 9 Sanyaku at the end. Enjoy that. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.